Chandri Villa. His name was Chandri, my grandfather once said, who was to live here but died of plague. Each of us fails in the end, but I was born in a house built for the dead. On the red gate they hammered his name with nails. 1919. These bougainvilleas have grown since then. The dead leave us, leaving no trails. Deep in the banyan grove at Chandri Villa, a secret sense of loss prevails. And the very stillness of these trees carries me past an April long dead, newly strewn with banyan leaves. Thick roots dangle above my head, ancient knotted roots I cannot untangle, till I am a child once again, though against my will. The wide grove closing its arms as if to kill. My veins, so many banyan roots twisted into one, and all their tangled knots come undone, till almost I see him, the plagued man I never will. Moving from there to the second book, which goes further back into the history of Chandri Villa, and not in a literal sense, but does definitely deal with themes that my family was associated with: the freedom movement, reactions to the freedom movement, aesthetic choices in favor of and against the Gandhian way of perceiving things. This one's called 1942, which is the year in which the Quit India movement began. And it began about 1 minute's walk from my old house in Gwalior Tank Maidan. That's where Gandhi got up and pronounced these two strong words, quit India. And there was a power in that word, quit. This poem evokes images from that period. 1942. August wounds him. His friends play games in which he does not join. His mother is a woman who lives in a cage. She is there for the nation, his father tells him. That man in brown with the big black keys must be the nation, he concludes, and aims a pebble at the jailer's groin. The boy who casts this innocent stone is only 7, but soon he will befriend the frets of an old sitar, urging the strings to embrace desertion, conjuring a lost void till they are taut with images he cannot bring himself to remember, or cry to be forgiven for crimes he did not commit yet fears his own. The Mahatma he will come to view with an awkward, half-tormented reverence. And of course, he will be drunk often, proclaiming in his drunkenness that Gandhi was a great man, though his followers were mostly fools, prisoners of a barren, blinkered dogma that numbed them to color and made them believe the sacred flesh dirty. The use of Gujarati he will forbid amongst his sons, a coarse, unmusical, purely functional tongue that Gandhi thought in, for Gandhi, though of course a great man, was wholly unmusical. And then, on an evening approaching 50, he will call home for drinks his raucous bunch of aging, whiskey-swilling peers, and they will talk of simpler days, when the streets were clearer, houses bigger, and the world more habitable, quaffing them down till he produces out of his pocket, as a sort of joke, a miniature Union Jack and a quizzically brown, fading photograph of a dead British king, crooning to himself till everyone joins in, that surging drone of a song that invokes an alien biblical God, and which they all remember standing up for on schoolboy visits to the cinema when films were only black and white. Its cadence is turgid, frozen almost, as the long last note billows out of the living room like a windy tent, and they drain their glasses in quick, nostalgic gulps. All this at 2 a.m, while at the other end of the same long corridored house, his mother, insomniac, knits little dolls for orphaned girls, or looks up from nascent, amorphous snippets of Gujarati verse at a moonless street, her husband awake beside her, up for her sake, both of them too tone deaf to recognize or be briefly wounded by the drunken anthem their son lifts in praise of an empire they waited so long to defeat.